Russians actually say about Syria. It is true that, for all sorts of sometimes quite calculated reasons to do with their own access to the Syrian coastline, that the Russians have supported the Assad regime. Actually, if you look at what they say is, we think everybody should sit around the table and talk. Now, when a diplomat says that, of course, you should be suspicious. But on the other hand, if you have a country that is as fragmented as Syria is, to think in terms of some kind of power-sharing outcome, rather than a victory and a defeat, seems to me more constructive. If you could get power-sharing, for example, in Lebanon, that would work. This is better than anybody's domination of it. So I think what the Russians actually have in mind is they understand that Assad might fall. What they're uneasy about is what might take his place. And I think the rest of us, perhaps, and not least Turkey, has not been thinking closely enough about what might take the place of the Assad regime. I think also when we look at, if you like, the taking of sides in Syria, we have to look at who has been a threat to whom. Remember that we don't all carry around the same perception of threat. If you're at least some people in Syria, not least the Assad regime, you might be saying, we haven't been interfering in Turkey, but Turkey has been interfering in Syria. In fact, I've had it explained to me by people who ought to know, and I think this came out in something that Kadri said, that the Turks, some time back, very early on, decided to back the opposition against Assad, and were way ahead of the Americans. Actually quite shocked the Americans when they raised the issue of backing the opposition to Assad in the very early sort of weeks and months of the uprising. And the Turks have not only maintained that position, if you like, at the rhetorical level, but again, as Kadri said, they have been involved directly in training, not very effectively, but involved in the training, the arming,